There you go, guys. Um, I'll just put a small apology in for a start off. I've had some real sort of technical issues. I just only got my phone back, which I've been doing most of the video recording on. I've done a couple of videos just recently on my partner's phone when mine's been away. And I've had no laptop either, so that's probably why you haven't seen any videos come up for sort of about the last month. So I've only just got that repaired too. But just a brief update on what I've been up to, and then I'll, on the end of this video, I'll put all the other videos over the sort of last sort of few weeks that I've taken. So I'll be a little bit out of order, but you need to sort of apologise for that. It's just, well, not really an apologise, but just let you know sort of what's been happening while I haven't put anything up. But a brief update. I got some money the other day from tax return, and I got quite a bit, so I've managed to get in and get some more sanding gear that I was after. I got my primers, my epoxy primer and bits and pieces like that, so I'm sort of ready to go there for the final bodywork. I haven't got my colour yet. The colour I've chosen's quite expensive, so I'm going to wait a wee while and save up some more money to get that, but I've got everything hopefully I've got everything I need to get it right up to final paint. So, and then all I have to do is just put the colour and the clear on once I'm finished. Everything's 2-pack. So I've got good paint. I could have went for just a straight lacquer, but I thought I'm only going to paint this once, so well, I hope to only paint it once. Especially, for 25 years time or something like that, if the car's still kicking and I'm still kicking and I'm still fit enough to do it, well, I might repaint it again, but we'll see what happens. Who knows what happens in time. But you've got everything I need there. Got my engine mount kit that I was hoping to get so I can mock my headers up. So this is the mounts. This is one of the brackets. Other one's in here. It's the other bracket, and obviously the other engine mount. Now the only thing I'm probably a little bit disappointed with is the mounts come like this with no nuts, no washers or anything, so I've got to go track some of those down. I have got a nut here that'll fit, but I haven't got any more, so I need to get some nuts and washers to fit those up. And as you'll see on one of my other videos, I've got this panel off now to repair in here. These pieces in here are rusty, so I was thinking about cutting them off and replacing them, but what I've done is I've rust killed in there, then I'm going to put a double skin around it, and I'm going to spot weld it on, and then I'm just going to seal it up with some sort of sealer, like some sort of silicone type sort of sealer, that they would use for cars for body sealing and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do there, and then I'll put a coat of paint in here. It'll just be black or something like that, just to seal it up so the rust doesn't come on. Hey mate, and then I'll do the same under here. I'll give it a good. I've got some cheap etch primer there that I'll flick in there first on both these areas, and and then we'll give it a coat of paint so it's nice and well protected. What else have we got going on? You'll see in these other videos that I've got all the floors and seats and dash out of it. I've got that sort of stripped down, so ready to sort of get into that and sort of clean that up and paint it. I'll probably paint it body colour at this stage. That's what I'm thinking, so that'll get painted when the rest of the car gets painted. That's probably about it, really. So I'll carry on and do some more, and we'll try and put these videos up, and we'll get them up in as much order as I can, that I can remember. So they'll be quite a long. I might put 2 or 3 videos up, but they'll probably be quite a few minutes long each one. Alright, we'll get back to you. Cheers. Thanks. There you go, guys. I've tidied this up. Sort of got it all spot welded and sort of strengthened together. And I've flicked a bit of under sealer in there, just to sort of clean that up. You know, obviously with a bit of the rust kill as well. Excuse me. So yeah, I've got that sort of sorted, and I've sort of generally got everything fitting pretty well now. I haven't really sort of done too much, and I've flicked a bit of undercoat underneath there now. I've put a few more tacks in around this piece. And sort of just generally got that sort of semi-sorted. I probably should have done something with this, but I won't panic too much by the time I get it welded, and then I'll try and get in behind and do a couple of spot welds and sort that out and clean up. Give that edge a clean up. So more generally there, and then I'll give this a bit of a clean up shortly on the inside, and flick a bit of rust kill on there as well before I put it on, and hopefully when I weld it, I don't burn too much off, but I can probably get in. Where are we? I can get in through there, and I should better flick a wee bit more rust kill up in there. Hopefully I'll better get up there once it's sort of welded, and that'll sort of stop that weld rusting from back out from the inside. So hopefully. Alrighty, I'll do some more and I'll catch you later. There you go, guys. Well, I've got this probably, I don't know, somewhere about 50 or 60% welded on. It's sort of almost fully welded across here, but there's a few spots where I haven't fully welded it, and down this edge, it's sort of done down here. There's a few holes got to do because it has quite a big gap down that bottom because it's sort of so ugly to cut off, and it's sort of you know, probably done about that far sort of along there. Hasn't really got a lot down the bottom. Sort of a decent weld in each sort of corner, but it's on there pretty good. It hasn't really sort of pulled or warped or anything too majorly, especially across the panel. Probably fortunately it's not a big distance and it's not a lot of places for it to go. But it's pulled. It's gone on quite well. I need to roll this around a little bit. It's pulled around a little bit there, but generally it's gone back on pretty well. As I said, I've had a little bit of fun trying to do that edge because, you know, sometimes it's been a bit of a gap, and then the other times it's been quite close, but it's coming on quite well. Alrighty, we'll catch you later and we'll do some more. Morning, guys, how you going? Saturday again. Basically finished welding this in. A few minor pinholes they've got to clean up, but I'm sick of welding, so I've called it quits in this area anyway. So what I've done is I've actually taken the door off. I took the door off so it was a wee bit easier to get in here and weld for a start off, just so I could get further back. The door was sort of restricting the movement a bit. So since I got the door off, and most of the rust is out of the main shell, well, apart from these back corner pieces when I get into that and maybe around the window or whatever, I don't really know of anything else that's actually directly in the shell, unless I find it. So I have stripped the door out, ready to knock the damage out of this bottom of this door, which has happened at the same time as that wheel arch. So I've ground the filler that somebody had put in here to try and make this a bit prettier, but they've done a shit of a job. So as you can see, it looks a bit ugly and uneven. I'll just pull that door down a little bit. Oh no, that's a bit dark now. Well, anyway, it looks a bit ugly and uneven. It's quite caved in here, well, sunken in. So it's got to come back out. And I think when that comes back out here, it'll lift the rest of this quite a lot. Well, that's what I'm hoping. And then I better get this back into some sort of shape. I've left the hinges on in the meantime, so I can bolt it back on make sure that line's looking good and the rest of the shape of the door's okay and it's not high, and or if I need to bring it out anymore. But the rest of it, I got all the glass out of it and everything. It is going to be tricky getting right back into this corner because flip her over and we'll show you, because it's getting back into this back piece. But I think I've got something to get in here. I'll flick my little light on my camera. It's pretty clean. It's pretty clean down in this door. Like, there's a bit of scale and a bit of surface. It's just general scale and it needs a bit of a clean up, but I don't think it's really bad for us. Like, I think the rest of it, we'll get in there and we'll clean the rest of it up, and like it's just a real good clean out and a real good spray with some that one step rust kill once they sort of, if I can get in there and sort of clean the rest of the sort of scaly shit up. And I think this door will be pretty good once we get it straightened out, and then she'll be ready for final prep and paint. But yeah, the mission today is to we're trying to get this door straightened out for a start, and see how we go. It may not take me too long. I don't know. It's just the access in there. I think again I'll try and get in there with some tire levers, and I'll try and bash the crap out of it on this side with that shrinking paddle, and see if I can put a bit of pain, push it out, and get it straightened out. So we'll start having a play, and I'll give you some updates as I'm going along, and see if we can show you some progress and get this back out. But you can really see that now. If I hold that door like that, you can see how much that's in, because that sort of that outer lip is probably close to where it needs to be, because it hasn't really damaged the frame of the door itself, but the panel's quite sunken in, and it's as you can see there now, that whole bottom section of that door's where that sort of that swage is at the bottom, that little bottom pieces, that like it's quite sunken in right across the bottom of the door. So hopefully I can get that piece out. That'll lift a fair chunk of it, and then I can work on getting the rest of it up. So that's my mission for today. So this will beat trying to fix rust. I'd much rather knock dents out than cut panels and all that sort of stuff. At least this is a bit easier, and well, it's probably not necessarily easy, but at least you're not trying to fill holes. So we'll get into this, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Alrighty. There you go, guys. Back again. Right, I've got this door back on in the meantime. I've improved it, but I haven't got it all the way out. Sort of get down a bit low. Where are we? Yeah, you can probably sort of see there it's still dipping in the centre. And here, like it's still low through the centre, but I have got it better. But I'm battling to get enough pressure to hold that out, to get it to flatten out. But I have got an idea, but I need to I could get a scissor jack in there at like a car, lift a modern car up, but the one I had was just a little bit high, because what I want to do is put like a heavy steel bar in between that and the inside shell of the door, so I could just wind it up and put a bit of pressure on that thing with like a board in there and behind. And it was working, but I didn't quite have the clearance to get like something in between the door and the jack, and it was just flexing the just the inner skin of the door. So I thought at least if I could get a bar or something in behind it, like a nice solid one, it's not going to flex that center of that shell of the door. It's going to help push it out. So I'm going to try and see if I can find a lower one. It's a little bit lower, which I don't think should be too much of a problem, because the one I had quite a high piece on the top where it actually jacks on the car from the scissor. It was actually quite high. So like if I reckon if I can get a slightly flatter one, it'll give me enough clearance to get a bar or something in there, and then I can hopefully put a bit of pressure on that and get it to really force the centre of that door out. Similar to what I was doing to the back guards, but in reverse, basically. So push out instead of push in. And I think I'll get that door conquered, I think. I just need something to get some pressure on there, because I had a block of wood in there, and I had a couple of levers actually pulling on it, like sort of down on the inner panel, like the shape of the door, and I was actually using that to lever on that block of wood. And I could bend the lever right back to the outer skin of the door, basically, but I just couldn't get enough pressure on it. So that's my next plan, is to shape a block of wood, full length of the door, and put some pressure on it. So I put it back on in the meantime and just had a bit of a look, and it is better. It's quite a bit better, but I still don't want, it's probably going to end up, if I bogged it to look right, or put filler on it to look right, it's going to be quite thick still. So it's not what I want. I want to try and get it as close as I can, so it's minimal, as I've said before. So I've pulled down the front door off, because I had a pretty good look at this one, and I don't think there's a lot wrong with this one. There's a little bit in that, but we'll pull the other front door off because it looked worse. So pulled that off. I haven't stripped the door out yet. I've ground off in here with the wire wheel and the grinder. So I've cleaned up in here, and there's rust in here, and I've just gone through here because it was a wee bit bubbly through here. Well, it wasn't really bubbly, it was more just sort of surfacey stuff. But on the other side, I'll just turn the door over. Just give us a second. Right, back again. As you can see, yeah, that light's bad now. As you can see, there's holes in here. So I've got to repair that. And there was actually a bit of filler along here. At some stage, I'd say reasonably early on in its life, because the blue paint was over top. Like it was actually had a bit of filler through here. So I'd say really early on in its life, it's had a wee argument there, and they've done a reasonable job. It's a bit low through there. I'll see if I can improve it a little. And it probably had 3 or 4 5mm of bog in there, just in that low bit, because it's sort of quite sharp, so it's obviously hit something low. But it wasn't too bad. But in this corner, there's, oh geez, can't about see that. I'll pull this door down a little and just see if I can get the camera to show that up better. Do this. Can you see that now? Yes, we can. But it's terrible, that light. Sun's so low now. You can kind of see. I'll turn the door around. Right, here we go. Back again. Right, now you can see. We've got rust in here. And that's obviously that piece where it's gone through on the other side, because you can see my hole through my finger through there. So you can see now where that set of shallow dint is, and you can see that better now. So so I got to put a patch in here somewhere, or a couple of patches, and also I'm going to have to cut part of this corner of this door out, possibly in here. Hopefully that's all I have to do, and put a bit of a patch on the other side. So that's not too bad. Like it's a pretty clean door really for its age. Like this, geez, I've seen a lot of them where that bottom's just hanging there. So that's not too bad. I wish it wasn't there, but so that's what we're at this stage. So I'll get this door stripped out, and then I guess I'll make up a small patch and put in those spots and weld that in, and put it back on the car. But like as you can see, like the door posts are real clean. There's a wee bit of bubbly stuff. Well, I don't know if it's bubbly stuff, but I'll give that a clean up because it looks a bit funny there, but I don't think it's much. Because I've never had the doors off, so like I could see roughly, but they're pretty clean really. So once we've got that one finished, we'll have a look at this one, and hopefully I've found a lower scissor jack or some way of putting a fair bit of pressure on the other skin on the other door and get that right. So that's where we're at today. So we'll carry on. I might go have a drink or something like that because I'm getting pretty dry out here. And we'll do some more.